Tonight could be the final game of the NBA season, so we've got you covered with all the trends and angles to help you bet Game 4 between the Celtics and Mavericks, plus some Major League Baseball bets as well. Mark Zinno, you are getting us started on a Friday card where you and I believe there are quite a few curious lines. Why don't you tell us about one of them right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, just some of the eye-popping things that are happening here on this Friday. You have the Philadelphia Phillies with maybe the best starter in the bigs, Ranger Suarez, on the mound, and they are an underdog to the Baltimore Orioles. Cleveland Guardians, who are a much better team than the Toronto Blue Jays, are also an underdog on the road. The San Diego Padres, a better team than the Mets, an underdog on the road. Just some really kind of even the Pittsburgh Pirates right now are installed as an underdog in Colorado. Now their starter is TBD, undecided, but you have a lot of these, kind of just strange lines that are out there across the board. And so it's just interesting to see where we are right now, including the Washington Nationals being a minus 165 favorite, which is also kind of maniacal. But my half of the double play, we're going to look to the Atlanta Braves and try to find the cure for their offense. Well, as of late, probably the cure for their offense is me betting on the under in this game, so they might score 12 runs tonight. But we are going to look to a first five under here as the Braves have Chris Sale on the mound. That's a good thing against this Tampa Bay team that isn't all that great. BP, you've talked about it repeatedly, about the Tampa Bay Rays and their inability to, not only just win, but they're just not a very good team. You look at them against lefties overall, they're a bottom 10 team. Against batting average against lefties. When you look against lefties on the road, this is a team that doesn't do well against them at all. And Sales should do more than enough here when it comes to keeping Tampa Bay at bay. And oh, by the way, Tampa is still bottom 3 in runs scored on the road against left-handed pitching here. So the worry is a little bit in Zach Littell, the starter for the Rays. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in each of his last 6 starts, but all those going into 6 innings, right? So if he does this again, I'm confident that we should be okay because Sale is going to shut down the Rays offense. But you're also talking about an Atlanta offense that we have been well documented is not very good, despite what we've seen. They scored 6 runs yesterday against the Orioles. Do they kind of round back into non-offensive form at home tonight? That's kind of what is part of this play here, that I just don't trust the Braves offense. BP, I know you and I were talking before the show, and you had kind of echoed, maybe this is the series that the Braves get right. Well, maybe it is, but I'm going to play against that until I see otherwise, that the Braves offense isn't going to snap out of it here. Chris Sale does most of the heavy lifting. Littell does enough to keep the Braves from scoring, and we get under 4.5 here in the first 5.
Under first 5, 4.5, Rays, Braves. Feel free to drop down in the comments section below and let us know what you think of Zinno's play there. If you agree, you can just smash that like button. We always appreciate that support. You can also feel free to comment and tell me that I'm insane because I'm going to be fading Tariq Skubal today. But I see a few edges for the Astros here, Mark, in the series opener against the Tigers. 1, Houston was off yesterday. Detroit was not. Detroit was our show best bet yesterday. They got it done against Washington, as a matter of fact. Second thing I like, Astros are at home, where they score 4.8 runs per game. That's way up from what they average on the road, nearly a full run per game. Third reason, Hunter Brown has actually been pretty good of late. 2.0 ERA, 0.889 whip his last 3 starts. Those are similar numbers to Skubal in the same stretch. I just think, and I have said this on the program before, the Tigers are priced like they're better than they actually are. This is a 500 team at best that's probably going to finish 4th in the AL Central because Skubal's starting, and he is very good, but we're getting a discount today. I just think the Astros are the better team, and I like them a lot at this price. So Astros as short home favorites over Detroit is my half of the double play. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is tonight, Mark, and it is $5 Customer Appreciation Day at WagerTalk. That means $5 winners. My 4% best bet on tonight's game between the Celtics and Mavericks is up on my page, WT.buzz/BP. $5 just for that winner. And I know you're coming off a win as well in Game 3, just by the skin of your nose.
But let's not relive it because it should have been
a
winner. It should have been a very easy winner across the board. I didn't need the anxiety of the Boston Celtics going 8 minutes, not scoring a single point in the fourth quarter. That wasn't fun for me at all. But nonetheless, we did get a cash. So I
Well,
also have a $5 play in the NBA tonight as well. So go get it on the page, wt.buzz/MZ.
and on that note of the Celtics team total, it was a big sweat in game 3. We don't think it's going to be a sweat in game 4 because that is our show best bet. Boston Celtics over team total over 105.5. Look, they're averaging 106 for the series. They've been very consistent, 105, 106, and 107 in these 3 games. But they've done so without even shooting the ball that well, Mark. And I just think Boston's clear in this number. You mentioned how they had 91 early in the fourth quarter last game. No reason to expect that the
11
Celtics
minutes
offense
left.
doesn't show up.
91 with 11 minutes left, BP, with 11 minutes to score 15 points. And they barely got there.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It was. But, I mean, is there anything you would like to add about why? I mean, the Celtics, the 3-point attempts are there. They're just, I mean, they're only shooting like 33% from 3 in this series so far. This is a team that shoots 38% from 3 for the year. So if these 3, I feel we've talked about it every time we've talked about Boston in the history of the show. If their 3s are going down, the other team is dead.
I mean,
and there's room for them to shoot better from behind the arc.
Here's the problem, BP. Wrap your head around this. And maybe this, just throw it out there as a, for the audience if you feel like getting frisky. But the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter, in their 3 games, have scored 21, 22, and 21 points in the fourth quarter of the 3 games. Like, they should have cleared their team total by a mile each of these games. Game 1, they didn't need to because it was a blowout. Dallas pulled all their starters out, so the entire pace got killed. Game 2, again, Boston just, kind of had to gut out back and forth in a game that they were ahead in, and they let Dallas back in. And same thing in Game 3. That 20-point lead that evaporated in the fourth quarter. These are games where Boston should be scoring a lot more than what their total actually is. Now, if we want to assume, which I think is fair to assume, that Dallas will not quit no matter what the score is in the fourth quarter, they're going to be continually scoring, which would force Boston to continue to score as well, that Boston is going to be able to get up and over this number, even with the bad shooting that they've had. The only 2 things you really need to worry about are blowouts on both ends, where the Celtics are up by so much in the fourth quarter that even if Dallas is leaving their starters in, Boston just doesn't care because they're going to dribble out 24 seconds of every possession and be done with it. Or on the off chance, and I think this is very an off chance, unless Dallas sprints out to a very early lead in the first and never looks back, that Dallas is absolutely blowing Boston out. And in that case, Boston's barely even going to get to 90. And it's not even going to be close. So those are the 2 things you worry about. The blowout on either side probably puts this in major jeopardy. As long as this game is close, as long as Dallas is looking like they actually want to win a game in this series, Boston should go over this number. Even with their very below average shooting. And God, does it tell you, I mean, how much did we overvalue the Mavericks coming in this series? I still am mad at myself about it. But nonetheless, BP, I think in general, when you look at this game here, Boston doesn't have to be great to clear this number.
They've scored 105 or more in 13 of 17 playoff games. Remember, this was the most efficient offense in the league during the regular season. A couple interesting trends that I just kind of pulled out here. There was so much talk going into Game 2 that Dallas had not dropped back-to-back games in the postseason. Well, now they've lost 3 straight. At no point this season have they lost 4 in a row. They are a perfect 4-0 straight up and against the spread when off 3 consecutive losses. But the Celtics, they haven't lost on the road this postseason. And Kyrie Irving simply cannot beat his former team. He's now 0-13 the last 13 times playing Boston. That's pretty crazy. So head on over to our pages for those $5 winners. Yes, just a reminder, it is Customer Appreciation Day at WagerTalk. $5 winners from all your favorite handicappers, including Mark and I, on tonight's Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Let us know what you think about Celtics team total over down in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube page if you already haven't done so. That way you don't miss any of our exclusive sports betting content. Throw us a like if you already haven't done so. We always appreciate the support as we drop the free winners Monday through Friday here on the Morning Wager. We will be back on Monday, and there may be no NBA to talk about, but we'll find something for you guys. Romania is not going to qualify for the round of 16, by the way, in the Euro Cup, Mark. Mark that down right here. We need to throw a Romanian flag up here on the show. But until then, did you have a comment?
Romania? No. Yeah. Slava Romania?
We can maybe talk about that next week. Until then, catch some wagers.
I'm so excited.
Have fun, everybody. Have a great weekend.